last night at Reagan Airport near Washington.
Both aircraft plunged into the Potomac. All 64 people on the plane and the 3 soldiers on the helicopter were killed. Most of the bodies have been recovered.
Divers will return to the water at daylight. Chris Van Cleve is at Reagan Airport. And Chris, how could this have happened?
Well, John, one of the many questions NTSB investigators are going to seek to understand here was a decision by air traffic controllers to move this plane from one runway to another not long before the accident happened. They also want to understand the communications between air traffic controllers and those Army pilots. Did they understand where this plane was and where to look for it in time? Just before 9 last night, video shows American Flight 5342 from Wichita descending towards the nation's capital on what had been an unremarkable trip. But then, a collision a few hundred feet above the icy Potomac River.
Crash, crash, crash. This is alert 3. Crash, crash, crash.
The airliner broke apart into at least 3 pieces.
We were looking for a aircraft versus a helicopter in the Potomac.
First responders, police, fire, and Coast Guard rushed to the banks of the Potomac. In the waist-deep water, they found a horrific scene of mangled metal, luggage, and human remains. What they did not find was someone to save. On board Flight 5342, a group of the nation's top young figure skaters, their parents and coaches, returning from a skate camp in Wichita.
We are one family, and today we are all heartbroken. We're all searching for answers.
At the time of the crash, both aircraft were flying at about 400 feet. Military helicopters are supposed to stay below 200 feet. And CBS News has learned just one air traffic controller was managing helicopter traffic and some airplane traffic, a job normally done by 2 people. The crash shut down the busy Washington Reagan National Airport until midday today and shattered an unprecedented record of aviation safety. This disaster, the first U.S. airliner crash since Buffalo in 2009. We spoke with NTSB board member Todd Inman. Are there any signs that people tried to get out of that airplane?
We've not seen any indication of that. Of course, we're still in a recovery mode, first and foremost to get the perishable evidence, and specifically the bodies out. Once we get a little bit closer into that, we'll be able to better understand the dynamics of what may have happened upon impact.
You also have to speak to the families.
Yes.
How difficult is that part of this job?
It's not something I expected. Last night, being at that debris field, I expected to see plane debris. But whenever you look over and you see those bodies laying, that's someone's family. It could be yours. They didn't expect that to happen. No one expected this call last night.
Chris, what do we know about the search for the all-important black boxes tonight?
Our understanding is late today they were able to recover the black boxes from the airplane. The planes have 2. One is a voice recorder, one is a data recorder loaded down with information critical to this investigation. They'll be taken about a mile from the crash scene to an NTSB lab to be downloaded and analyzed.
Chris, tell me about that air traffic controller doing 2 things at once, monitoring the helicopter and then the plane. How normal is that, and how dangerous is that?
Well, this would be classified as not normal staffing because it occurred earlier in the day than it normally would. This happens at 9:30 or later typically, but a supervisor can decide to combine the jobs. That's what happened here. Sources familiar tell us there was adequate staffing to run the airport safely, but in this case, you had one controller doing 2 jobs.
Okay, Chris Van Cleve at Reagan National tonight. Thank you.